Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're looking at an upcoming set 21353 from LEGO Ideas, the Botanical Garden. Now this will retail for $330 at the beginning of November. It's a big set considering they classify it with other modular buildings, and when compared to that, it's more than any other one. So just prepare for that. In fact, I wasn't entirely sure whether or not this was going to be considered a modular building, considering there's no connection point that would put the buildings together. But this is the type of building that you'd want like in a central park area surrounded by other foliage and then make a path to it. So it makes sense that LEGO considers it technically a modular building. There are a lot of minifigures. There are a total of 12. So let's start with these 6. We've got a couple of kids and a mother. We have a guy with binoculars ready to, I think, sightsee, or not sightsee, but bird watch. A guy with an umbrella, and then a guy walking his dog with a cell phone. The dog is one of many animals in this set. We'll cover them as we look at the set itself. The other 6 minifigures, finishing off the patrons, we have a guy there taking pictures, both probably of the creatures as well as the plants. And then we have the series of employees. So next we have the barista. She works in the cafe. Then we have, which one is it? Oh, this is the groundskeeper who has a leaf blower. And next is a lady who mans the front desk because you do buy tickets to get into the Botanical Garden. Then we have a guy that actually uses a Harry Potter wand upside down because I believe he's testing soil with that. And then finally we have a lady with shears to trim the plants when they get unruly. All right. As for the set itself, it's built on 2 32 by 32 base plates. That means that width-wise, it's 20 inches, and depth-wise, it's 10 inches. And unlike other modular buildings, it really uses up a lot of the space. In the instructions, they mentioned that there are 35 unique plants built. That does include like little tiny ones, like scattered around the entire base are tiny 1x1 round clover tiles, and they're just printed with the clover on it. So it's technically not a built plant, but it does count in that 35 count. All right, in the front, we do have a number of rose bushes and other flowers and trees. In the large tree, in the front left, there is a little tile that's printed. It's a 1x1 round beetle. Then in the fountain on the right side is one of 4 birds. At the front entrance on the front left, we've got a second bird. And anything else worth mentioning? Oh, before we get into more stuff, when it comes to stickers, there aren't that many. So the stickers involved a board talking about the self-guided tours that's inside this whole front area, because as you go into the building and turn right, there's a desk where the tickets are sold. Behind that is a sticker that mentions the instructions about the headphones. That's a sticker. Then on either side of the main atrium, there are signs up above the archways. One goes to the arid garden, that's a sticker. One goes to the cafe, that's a sticker. And then the cafe and the front desk each have computers, and the computer monitors are signs that have stickers on them for their monitors. Those are the only stickers. Everything else is printed. But they're small stuff. So like one of the minifigures had a cell phone that's printed. The ticket on the front desk is printed. One of the neater elements is inside the buildings. there are tiny 1x1 squares that act as information plaques. Those are also printed. All right, before we open up the building, let's turn to the side so we can actually see the next animal, which is one of the bunnies, which has probably eaten away some flowers off the stem that's nearby it. You might also be able to see, it might be very hard, but inside this atrium in the arid garden is a bird who has made a nest on top of one of the lights. It's just tucked away in there, kind of hard to see. All right, the back side of the building, we have on the right side a lot of maintenance tools, including a garbage can with a squirrel. And the squirrel is pretty neat because it sits on a black minifigure head so that when it's in the garbage can, it looks like it's standing on a black garbage bag. You've got more flowers in different colors on the back side. Then you have an open air eating area on the left side. And on the railing, we have our fourth bird. And then, of course, the seating area railing. Then this side, we just have some more minor flowers, fern plants throughout there, and to finish off. But as you can see, there is no connection point that would directly connect into a modular building, so this would kind of need to sit out on its own. All right. If you want to actually get into the building, you will have to take off the roofs. Now, each roof will have this kind of piping decoration. This is the layer that actually does get removed, so that when you're ready to play, that becomes the solid base that all this sits on. So there's that one, the arid garden one, and this might be a little bit easier to see inside there. Probably not. But the bird is back inside there on top of one of the lights. And then, of course, this side. All right. So inside the main building, you still have a problem access-wise because you have this palm tree and this eucalyptus tree. These are removable. And the nice thing is the bottom of these are built with slopes, so that they more easily fit into the countersink slots that are designed inside this main atrium area. So you can pull those straight out, and each of them have that. So that if you want to stage anyone inside the main atrium, you can. Because they did put plenty of jumper plates around the tile area so that minifigures can be staged. The hardest part to get into is in this front area where the ticket desk is. So you'd have to move the trees out of the way to get into this way to just roughly put your hand in that spot. Now inside this main atrium, it's not easily seen because they made sure to hide it. But we have two more frogs, and those are the last two animals. One of the frogs is kind of buried underneath the spiral staircase in the corner, just hidden away in one of the steps. And the second frog is not actually seen except by the builder. It's tucked away underneath the foundation of the main atrium, pretty much in the corner that has the bamboo. There's a little spillway of water that's down there. You build it really early on, you put it in place, and then you cover it up so no one else gets to see it. Only you, the builder. Okay, now the main area is easy enough to get your hand in there. However, the side areas, that's a little thin. I think it's only about 6 studs or so wide. So the way they solve this is give a double modularity where you remove walls on each of these sides, giving you further access in to the cafe area. And then if we turn it around to see better the arid garden, The arid garden. And I absolutely love the cactus designs. We get now green eggs, a green pumpkin, stacked, what do you call it, the new rose pieces in green that make very good stacks of cactus. And of course some other Technic pieces. Tons and tons to build. They also pace this thing out very, very well. Every time you have to build something heavily structured, like maybe a wall or a foundation, that is then followed by a lot of detail work with the plants and the fine details. And going back and forth between those two means that the whole build experience becomes very fluid and dynamic and never really boring, which is hard to say when it comes to sets of this size, because a lot of times sets that get this big are hard to avoid having lots and lots and lots of repetition. This set does a fantastic job at spacing all of that out and making a very, very refreshing build experience. I haven't ever put these in normally. They seem easy enough to put in. All right, but I'm not sure, given the fact that LEGO kind of considers this a modular building, whether or not this will be the only set that we get in terms of a modular type set. There might be another one still coming. If so, that means this year will be a very, very expensive year for those collecting modular sets. It is worth the price, but $330 is a whole lot to ask, given the fact that the most expensive modular building is probably $270, and that was the Assembly Square, which might have got increased. I can't say nothing bad about this except the fact that it costs so much. So if that interests you, check out at the beginning of November the set 21353 LEGO Ideas, the Botanical Garden.